Good morning, everybody. It's Wednesday. It's about, I think, like 8:30 in the morning, and I just wanted to, before I get into science, give you a kind of a taste of one of the things I'm trying over here, which is baking sourdough bread. I've got a loaf of sourdough bread in the oven right now, and we're gonna just take a look at it. It's been baking for 20 minutes, and so let's see if I can flip the camera. Maybe I can't flip it around, so I'll just do this. Okay, let's take a look. All right. So it's got this pan over it because I put some ice cubes on the pizza stone. Those are supposed to add moisture to the bread and create a nice crust. And let's see how it's looking. Not too bad. Wow, that's quite brittle. Looks like the bottom might be a little, it looks actually really nice. The top looks a little undercooked at this point. So I'm not exactly sure what to do. Maybe it'd be nice to, maybe I'll put it on a cookie sheet and then keep baking it for 10 more minutes, and hopefully that'll do it. All right, well, anyway, that's, oh, and here's the first loaf I made this morning, and it actually took about 3 days to make the dough, and I've tried 2 different recipes, and obviously that one didn't rise very well in the oven, but it is kind of, the texture is like really delicious, and I spread butter on it, and it's fantastic. And then I've got another loaf that's rising right now, another dough ball that's rising right now. And the only reason I'm sharing this with you is, you know, I've got kind of a passion for trying new things. And sourdough bread is kind of the newest one for me. For example, when you make sourdough bread, of course you need sourdough starter, and this is kind of like what sourdough starter looks like, and it's full of yeast cells, which of course are a fungus, one of the 6 kingdoms of life that we talked about yesterday. And it's so cool because they just reproduce and multiply in this little container. At first there's probably just millions. Now there's billions or more of yeast cells that are active and eating. What they do is they eat the flour, and that allows them to multiply and reproduce. And then, of course, when you introduce them to the bread, it helps the bread to rise and create those delicious air pockets in the bread and give it the texture that we all love when we, slather on some butter and eat a nice fresh, slice of bread. So anyway, that's what I'm up to here. And of course, the yeast cells, I should add, are wild yeast. They're just they're everywhere in the air. So when we've talked about nitrogen and oxygen and argon and other gases, being in the air, yeast cells are constantly being blown around by air currents. And these are natural wild yeast cells that people have been using for tens of thousands of years to bake bread and make things that they consume, like bread, to make their daily lives better, more fun, more interesting. And anyway, this is my new passion. I thought I'd share it with you, and I'll address you in a bit about science, or the rest of science today.